No, ain't no cap in it. I like with a stack in it. I'm bada. Stop it, cause it ain't no acting it. I see no biggie. Honestly, I see no biggie. Pay the heavy on pretty. Leaving my mark like I see no biggie. Ain't biting my tongue. I can't be no goofy, no victim to none of my enemies. Like honestly, be sending me. Stick that away when I get to me. My check don't discriminate. Still take deposits if you talking Vietnamese. I just be having my way. Only kept out with a pay till I say. Urge you wanna be. Don't got a whip it. Rag on no petty. Let's stop talk with that on your hip. If you ain't gon' rip it or pop it. I'm thinking like show me a benefit. Let me dumb it down, Benjamin. We not equivalent. Really bad, looking so innocent. Bossy predicament. I see no biggie. Honestly, I see no biggie. Pay the heavy on pretty. You mad while I'm getting busy. Attitude bad on Sadidi. He only talk from the out like a light, call him Ricky. Yeah, honestly, it ain't no cap in it. No, ain't no cap in it. I like put a stack in it. I'm bada. Stop it, cause it ain't no acting it. I see no biggie. Honestly, I see no biggie. Pay the heavy on pretty. Leaving my mark like it. I see no biggie. Call me Hillary.
It's the NFL on EA Sports as we are in the inner harbor of Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens. Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. Well, now how about this return? And pretty good field position here. He's out of bounds right at the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action now. Jackson. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple. Well, you know, paramount for this defense is trying to keep Lamar Jackson somewhat contained when he tries to run. They did a pretty good job of it there.
And you know it's so difficult for every defense that has to prepare for Lamar Jackson? You have to think and play at the same time. And I know that sounds like something you're supposed to do, but when you have to think about your assignments against him, it often slows down your feet. You don't move as fast. You've got to be prepared for this guy every step of the way and then try and match his athleticism.
They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And he is going to lose yardage here. The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that 1st down gain of 8. So much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here. If you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
21 yards there. A big play on 4th down. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Another run here with Sanders. And he's going to be down close to a 1st down at the Ravens 39. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on 3rd. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the 1st. They'll throw on 1st down with Hurts. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
You could tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Hurts. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And down right around the 32-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Throwing is Hurts. And he's got his man. It's the tight end Goddard. Touchdown. Dallas Goddard, 32 yards. And the Eagles are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. Elliott good with a PAT. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving. Partner, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. On 3rd down, Jackson. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And got his man complete. And he will still bounce all the way down inside the 40. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 43 yards. After 7-0 on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hey, middle. Hey.
To throw is Jackson. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted.
Oh, did you see that, buddy? Yeah, buddy.
We spent your whole life trying to blow up, but Elohim never had time for donuts. The beat gon' have no time for cold cuts. A game like Big Pitch came to join up. Yeah, I'm still independent. Ain't sold a million records yet. Just to be on my checklist, big diamonds don't need a necklace. Look, we built the sound like it's double speed Tetris. I cannot build without God in it. We built the sound you can't copy this. I never brag, it's just confidence. I never rap for your compliments. I wrote this one for the indie grind. If you ain't sign on the dotted line. Kept on my soul with no dollar signs. The industry so full of troglodytes. I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. No, I will not bend. I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. No, I will not bend. Run it up, 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 run it up. You gotta put in that work, dog. I put the kingdom first. I know that you gotta wait for your turn sometimes to build something really sustainable. Work on your catalog, so the day that you finally pop off, you'll see it's not just a once off. You put in time, the harvest is ready, it's right. I thank God for the payment. That's a solid foundation. When I finally make it, I'll give God all the praises. G.O.D. who conquered evil forces. I don't trust in chariots or fortresses. Yeah, I walk by faith. I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. No, I will not bend. Gang time, I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. No, I will not bend. Run it up. 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 Run it up.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all the that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
Like top, it was candy blue, interior customed out. And we was at the gin and juice video. And my car was parked out there. Shit, this came over and pound of shit. Talking about it's a nice car. I wanted to see what car it was. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it was a nice car. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only real interactions I had with shit was probably at the 662 that night. You know what I'm saying? Back then. But other than that, I was seeing, you know, he'd see me around. And no. And then the night that the little conversation with Warren G in the studio. When they jammed Warren G up. Yeah, okay, you were there. I was there. Yes, sir.
What happened? Can you give me a detailed story on that from your point of view? What happened?
And actually, it's funny because when Stout called me the other day, I told him about that. We was all there, and he brought all the memories. So actually, we was all at the studio. We was in the kitchen at Death Row, gambling. Big Sight, Trey D, Little Style. Everybody was gambling. Shoot kept people out the door like betting 100 to people's 20s. You know what I'm saying? But it was a big dice game that day. Corrupt, Snoop, Badass, Quick to Mac, all the little youngsters, they was all in the studio. And Warren G, so the dice game was going on. And I think I went back in the studio with Snoop and him. And Trey D came. And then next, Warren G came in the studio with Richie Rich from Oakland. Yeah, they walked in, and then next thing y'all know, we sitting in there, Warren saying hi to everybody, then Suge walks in, like, Warren, let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? So Warren's like, all right, I'll be out there. So Suge left. Suge came back in like, Warren, let me holler at you. Then he threw his arm around the old Suge move, threw his arm around, let me holler at you. So they went back out there, and next thing you know, you heard the little commotion. You know, I guess they was going in on, Sal jumped up and ran into the kitchen and Trey D. That's who broke all that. They was like, no, y'all can't do him like that. Y'all can't do him like that. And I think Warren jetted out the thing and Red. This is what I want to tell Red. Yes, Red, I seen them niggas coming from behind the walls and acting like that Bruce Lee shit, nigga, the Death Row studio. Like the spinning the glass mirrors. Yeah, them niggas was coming from behind the walls. And that shit stuck with me till today. Yeah. So yeah, and then after that, Warren left, and as I can remember, the dice game went off, Can-Am closed, Big Sight, Trey D, Little Style, me, my homeboy Ran from IBC, we sat in the front door of Can-Am. They gambled until the sun came up. Trey D, Big Sight, Little Style. Yeah, and that's what happened that night.
Gotcha. Did Warren G leave with his chain, or somebody got it for him?
He got it back, but I don't know if he got it back. But I don't know if it was Stout. He said it was his uncle that got it back. But I want to say it was Trey D and had a big staff. But
Put so much into tonight, and you just don't care. Now stop playing games, gun, bring your downstairs. Come on, let's go.
Back into a pumpkin. What if the Eagles expose him for everything you think he's not? And then all would be right. Dak would be back in the saddle.
So you're saying that, let's just make a single argument. He comes out here, he wins this game. That would be 4 games he's won this year, counting the one they won last year. So he's 5-0. He loses a game, but they're not blown out. He doesn't play particularly bad. The Eagles just play better, and they lose. Let's just say skip them the first ball game. Say they lose 27-24, 27-20.
Really, just because they're paying Dak so much money, they go back to Dak.
That's what I believe. Look at that. What the history has told us is that you go back and look at it. You go back to Don Shula, Coach Shula, with the Colts. Romo got hot. Johnny Ewing got hurt. Romo got hot.
We're at the home of the Super Bowl 52 champions, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Tonight we've got a good...
Drew Bledsoe was the highest paid player in the NFL.
He was.
Coach Belichick said, I don't give a bleep.
He didn't.
NFL. Coach Belichick said, I don't give a bleep.
He didn't.
I just believe it. And you said, this is what you said. You said that you believe that Cooper Rush is playing currently better than Dak has played any time over the last year. If that's the case, you can look at the person. I don't care if it's a position.
Off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line.
I don't care if it's a position. If the player comes in, he's playing better than said player was playing before he got hurt. Shouldn't player X that has the job now, shouldn't he continue to play? If he's playing better, because you said that Cooper Rush is playing better than what you've seen back over the last 16 games.
I have. That's all I got for you is my eye test. If you want to throw back across the table, he's an undrafted free agent from Central Michigan. If you want to say he's 28 years of age, he's been in the system for 6 years, where has he been? You got me. I don't know. He finally got an opportunity, and it's not 1 or 2, it's 4 opportunities. And you say they haven't needed him to play great, and all I've seen is in the biggest moments he has played, and I don't toss this word around gently, he's played great. He's played big-time clutch on big stages.
My thing is that I'm going to need to see, you got to put him in a situation where he doesn't have to just make 2 or 3 throws in order to beat you. You got to make him play a clean ball game throughout the game. You got to keep that pressure on him and make him play because of Cincinnati. You look at the first couple of drives, he was sensational. And then he really didn't do anything until the last 3 drives. The last drive.
I thought they didn't let him do much. Okay, they just tried to hang on for dear life, and it nearly cost him.
Maybe that's...
Let's go.
Until someone can do what Kansas City was able to do to Tampa's defense, I'm going to force you to get into a shootout. I'm going to force you to go down there, and you're going to have to throw for 300, 400 yards, and you have to put 3 or 4 touchdowns on the board against me in order for you to win. Until you can do that, Skip, it's going to be very difficult for you to beat the Cowboys because their defense is going to put you in a situation where you're not going to probably get to 31.
Okay. I'm going to reiterate for those who are just joining us. At Minnesota last year, first ever game that he's ever played in the NFL as a starter, on Sunday Night Football solo stage, he throws a game-winning touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, no longer a Cowboy, with 55 seconds left to pull it out 20-16. Then he's thrown back into the fire in game 2 when everybody said Dallas is dead because Dak is gone. And against the defending AFC champ Bengals, who almost won the Super Bowl last year, who were spoiling to come in here and get even at 1-1 because their backup long snapper had cost them the game at Pittsburgh by blowing an extra point and a chip shot field goal, each of which would have won the football game. All he did was, in the end of that game over the last minute, they said, okay, go Cooper, save us now. And he completes 3 straight big passes to set up a walk-off field goal. And then they go up to the Giants, and everybody is raving about the new look, big, bad, blue Giants with a red-hot defense. Wink Martindale, once of the Baltimore Ravens, he's got them cooking up there. And they're going to heat up heat up Cooper Rush. And what happens? They fall behind 13-6 mid-4th quarter, and here he comes on 2 long game-winning drives, game-tying and then game-winning drives.
Let's go.
It's clutch. That was Monday Night Football. Okay, so there's another big solo stage game. And then we get to what he did against lowly Washington, and you got me on this, but I'm going to remind you what happened late.
Much of a relationship, and we can't see LeBron can't. Those two have really never had much of a relationship, and we can't see LeBron can't win. If LeBron has a relationship, everybody says LeBron is too friendly. He tries to be buddy with everybody. Michael Jordan didn't give a damn. He didn't try to be friendly with anyone. LeBron is not friendly. How can he not be friends with Kareem? Did anybody ask Kareem, did he have a relationship with Wilt? Kareem and Wilt did not like each other. And nobody asked him this. And it wasn't even an issue that Kareem and Wilt did not have a relationship. Wasn't an issue. So why is it an issue now? Why does LeBron have to get along with everybody? Why does LeBron have to have a relationship with everybody? He doesn't. And look, Kareem is his own person. LeBron is his own person. I think LeBron has been very complimentary of Kareem and said, hey, it'd be a huge honor to be, to be thought of in the same breath as Kareem. But they don't have a relationship. And Kareem has been very critical of LeBron in certain situations. He's backtracked on certain situations. I just don't see the issue. Those two have really never had much of a relationship. And we can't see LeBron can't win. If LeBron has a relationship, everybody.
Right? Yeah. Were you surprised by LeBron's response?
No. Those two have really never had much of a relationship, and we can't see LeBron can't win. If LeBron has a relationship, everybody says LeBron is too friendly. He tries to be buddy with everybody. Michael Jordan didn't give a damn. He didn't try to be friendly with anyone. LeBron is not friendly. How can he not be friends with Kareem?
Okay, but that's different. They're not competing against each other.
Yeah. Did anybody ask Kareem, did he have a relationship with Wilt? Kareem and Wilt did not like each other. And nobody asked him this. And it wasn't even an issue that Kareem and Wilt did not have a relationship. Wasn't an issue. So why is it an issue now?
They were competing against each other.
When he broke, why does it have to?
Get ready for some football.
Why does LeBron have to have a relationship with everybody?
The grid out.
Kareem is his own person. LeBron is his own person. I think LeBron has been very complimentary of Kareem and said, hey, it'd be a huge honor to be, to be thought of in the same breath as Kareem. But they don't have a relationship. And Kareem has been very critical of LeBron in certain situations. He backtracked on certain situations. I just don't see the issue. Because LeBron is looking at it like this, bro, you keep talking and you keep saying things behind my back. And I'm a firm believer. LeBron's like, look, Skip, I can't stop someone from talking behind my back, but I keep the ass from smiling in my face. You see, you doing all that talking behind my back.
But you're doing it publicly.
And that's my thing. So I'm doing this publicly. Mm-hmm. Does it mean anything, Kareem? No. Do I have a relationship? No. I did that publicly.
I have no relationship.
Yeah, okay. So I did that publicly. So you know where I stand. I know where you stand. We gonna keep it moving. It is okay for great players not to have a relationship with former great players. What is this notion that all of a sudden LeBron has got to be chummy, buddy, and bow down to every great player that came before him? He doesn't have it.
Oh, but he usually will do that.
Okay, so now he didn't do that, so now it's a problem. The very thing that you criticize him for because he say he's too chummy. He wants to be buddy with everybody.
But that's with his current rivals, his contemporary rivals. That's what I'm talking about. So this has nothing to do with that.
So Jordan was chummy with people that came before him. No, he wasn't.
He paid homage. He respected.
He looked okay. And LeBron said he didn't get nothing about respect. He just said he doesn't have a relationship.
Okay, you're putting words in my mouth because I haven't even answered the question yet.
My thing is that he doesn't have a relationship. That doesn't mean he doesn't have respect. You can have respect for someone without having a relationship with said person.
Cannon, you're preempting with a strike that is unnecessary. I'm on LeBron's side in this because I do not love the way Kareem has criticized LeBron because
unnecessarily I feel leaving points.
It just doesn't feel right to me, and his gripes are not worthy of public airing. It just doesn't seem fair to me. And in the biggest picture, it's a little sad to me because I'm going to knock on wood for him. If he stays healthy, he will fairly soon, mid-season, he's going to pass him as the all-time.
You notice, the criticism didn't come to like 2 years ago when LeBron's, because as long as he didn't think anybody was going to get that record, Kareem ain't say a damn word. Now all of a sudden, he got so much to say.
Still around.
I don't want to overreact because it is the preseason and these guys are trying to get their shots, get their legs back on them, get some conditioning. But Skip, everything seems to be a struggle again. Scoring the basketball, only 3 fast break points in the first half. Shooting the ball, 32% from the floor, 4 of 17 from 3 in the first half. Rebounding, allowed 8 offensive rebounds in the first half. Everything seems to be a struggle, just like it was last year. They don't get a whole lot of cheap baskets. They don't get out in transition. They don't do anything where you're like, oh, man. So to make a long story short, Skip, I don't see a 60-win team. I don't see a team that says, you know what, hey, the Lakers are dangerous. I don't see that currently. Now, like I said, it's only one preseason game. I think they got 4 or 5 more preseason games to go, and we'll see how this thing takes shape, how Darvin Ham can piece this thing together. But when I look at this team, LeBron was 0 for 7 from the floor last night. He missed 2 or 3 bunnies right there at the rim, maybe trying to look for contact, didn't get that call. I'm not overly concerned about that, but I wanted to see a team like, okay, I see this. I see. So right now, I see problems more than pluses. What is the plus? What piece did they add from last year that says, okay, that's a plus? That's going to be. They still don't shoot the ball particularly well, even if it's preseason. Just because it's preseason, that doesn't mean you can't do some things well. That doesn't mean you can't shoot the ball well. That doesn't mean that you can't rebound well. That means when the second unit starts the second half, that doesn't mean that you can't defend just because it's the preseason. So for me, I still see some of the same. The only positives I saw last night was AD had a double-double in 16 minutes, 11 and 11. I can live with that. But other than that, I didn't really see anything that I'm like, got a lot of skits planned for this season. No, right now I don't got a whole lot of skits planned.
Are you buying that Russ is going to thrive?
Okay, my turn. Since I'm Mr. Positive over here on this side of the table, since I'm the cockeyed optimist of this group, I'm going to start with the pluses. And you skimmed right over the biggest plus of the night because it was a plus, plus, plus. It's like that new Hula ad, plus, plus, plus. Wait a second. Is this the same Anthony Davis that I remember from last year? Is this 2020 Anthony Davis who has suddenly reared his head? The Anthony Davis I saw last night was everything he talked about and talked about and talked about some more through the early part of camp. He was a flat-out monster last night. No, seriously. That was assertive, aggressive, give me the ball and get out of my way, Anthony Davis. Okay, my turn. Since I'm Mr. Positive. Okay, my turn. Since I'm Mr. Positive.
Oh, boy, because
that top.
All right, Shannon, Mahomes is your guy. What's the biggest reason the Chiefs beat the Bucs last night?
My homeboy, because he can do things that very few quarterbacks, if any quarterbacks, can do. You saw the touchdown that we just highlighted. Tom Brady's not making that play. And I keep telling you, he can just do things. And on 12, through the first three quarters, they were 9 of 12 on third down. The Bucs, no matter what they tried to blitz him, they tried coverage, they tried one-on-one. It did not matter. He seemed to always was a step ahead of them. And when you cannot get off the field on third down, it's going to be very difficult for you to beat a team. And then the thing that the Bucs really do really well defensively is that if you so happen to get into the red zone, they normally force you to kick field goals. Well, the Chiefs' first 5 possessions into the red zone resulted in touchdowns. You win ball games by scoring touchdowns, not by kicking field goals. We're going to talk a little later about a team that kicked a lot of field goals here. And they had the same problem a couple of weeks ago when they had a 21-point lead, the Baltimore Ravens. Every time they got into the red zone, they scored touchdowns. Through the first 3 quarters, the Chiefs were 10 for 12 on third down, scored on their first 5 red zone trips into the red zone. And when you can do that, you put pressure. Tom Brady was up under the gun all night is because he was facing an uphill battle. They couldn't run the football, and then they completely abandoned the run. Skip, did you know 4 of the 6 fewest times in which a team has run the football in NFL history, you know who the quarterback's been? Yeah, it's been him. I keep telling you, because he cannot extend plays, now you're stuck. You're stuck. You're
Stuck with the guy who's won 7 Super Bowls.
I love it. Okay, let me ask you this question. You keep going back to the fan. How did I help him last night?
Tom, I didn't help him against Mahomes when they played 2 years ago. I didn't help him.
Well, go ahead, because you want to talk about last night. You want to talk about it. Go ahead.
Stop.
You never want to deal with right now.
What's wrong with Tom Brady?
You don't want to.
There's nothing wrong with
Deal
Tom Brady.
with what right now?
Yeah, I'm dealing.
What's the excuse?
Tell me what's
He had
my
Mike
turn.
Evans. He had Julio. He had Chris Godwin. He had Leonard Fournette. He had Donovan Smith. Now,
did he have Shaq Barrett? Did he have Devin White? Did he have Levante Davis? Did he? Help me out. Did he have a defense? Shannon Sharp, wait a minute. On Friday, you said, I'm picking Tom Brady. I'm picking Tom Brady because of the Bucs defense. Help me out. What happened last night with the Bucs defense? What happened?
Okay, so
come on, Hall of Fame. Show me. Teach me.
How about this here? They turn the ball over. Tampa fumble the ball. Tom Brady, and the Chiefs go down. They get 7. It's 7-0. Tom Brady comes down. Now, he's allowed to get 7. He got 3. The Chiefs.
Wait. Tom Brady was 4 for 4 in the red zone. 4 for 4.
Hold on. Who knows? Hold on. Time out.
I guess I got to get a new TV.
4 for 4. Tom Brady. Interesting. 4 passes. Tom Brady, ladies and gentlemen at home. Tom Brady threw 4 passes when it was a 1-score game. Every touchdown that he threw 267 yards came when he was at least 3 scores down. So to make a long story short, and I went extremely long, he got a lot of empty calories last night, Skip Bayless.
He's the one guy who doesn't do empty calories because he comes back.
Every touchdown that he threw, they were at least 3 scores down. 267 of the 385 came when they were at least 3 scores down. If that's not empty calories, when the score was 14-13, what did he do? When the score was 14-3, what did he do? When the score was 21-3, what did he do? At what point in time did Tom Brady make it a ball game? What point in time did you say, you know what? Here we go, Charles.
Oh, about 17 times.
When?
Because this guy, that's the greatest player in the history of your game.
All I'm saying,
you continue to disparage and discredit. It's just shameful what you do.
No. What we do
you got to recognize greatness once in your life.
What we do in sports is we take it game by game. Nobody can ever take away Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowls, nor should they attempt to. Nobody can take away those 700 touchdowns.
That shit made my nigga want to move. What the fuck is
Last night,
that?
Patrick Mahomes outplayed him. The Kansas City Chiefs outplayed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'll give you that.
Defense and special teams. Offense, defense, and special
Tell me when it's my turn. Thank you very much.
Bottle him up as he'll stop him at the line of scrimmage.
Now back to Jim.
The tackle. You don't see that a ton, do you?
Go ahead. Who wins and why?
Billy, so
Brady?
everything you do.
Everything is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he's only going to get a yard.
What would you say, right? The living legend. Ain't very many of those. Living legend. That's what turns you. No, I'm not surprised that he said that. And he spoke to the in-game adjustments that not only does he make on the defensive side, but the corrections that he's able to make for his quarterbacks on the offensive side of the football. Now, who is a direct beneficiary of such excellence, of such greatness, and such forward thinking? One, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And Rodgers has said, hell, if I'd have had that, I got McCarthy. I think McCarthy the better part of my career. Y'all see what he's doing in Dallas? That's what I was up against. Flip the script, give Tom Brady McCarthy, give me Coach Belichick. Ta-da! Now all of a sudden, y'all really saying I'm the GOAT. For real, for real. You heard what he said, right? Living legend. Ain't very many of those. Living legend. That's what turns you. No, I'm not surprised that he said that. And he spoke to the in-game adjustments that not only does he make on the defensive side, but the corrections that he's able to make for his quarterback very difficult.
Will Nash and KD be able to coexist?
Good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket. No reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free.
My turn. Since I'm Mr. Positive over here on this side of the table, since I'm the cockeyed optimist of this group, I'm going to start with the pluses. Okay. And you skimmed right over the biggest plus of the night because it was a plus. It's like that new Hula ad, plus. Well, wait a second. Is this the same Anthony Davis that I remember from last year? Is this 2020 Anthony Davis who has suddenly reared his head? The Anthony Davis I saw last night was everything he talked about some more through the early part of camp. He was a flat-out monster last night. No, seriously. That was assertive, aggressive, give me the ball and get out of my way, Anthony Davis. I mean, it's hard in a preseason game when nobody's playing that many minutes, so the continuity is always just it's awkward and rough and out of sync. And he just came out and took the game over with 11 and 11, as you said, in about 16 minutes of play.
2 blocks, I can live.
Yeah, 2 blocks, and he was moving like 2020 AD. He was asserting like 2020, where he was commanding the paint. maybe there is something to this new sheriff in town, Darvin Ham system that he brought from Milwaukee, and he was raving after the game about how Russ is going to thrive in this system because it's sort of a 4-out, 1-in system where the lane remains unclogged except for his soirees through the lane.
Right.
And when he was in the lane, when he got 2 feet in the paint, he commanded.
Right.
His body looks the same, but it looks good.
Well, Skip, that works if you got guys that can shoot on the perimeter. It's kind of like what they do in Milwaukee. You try to leave the lane unclogged, so Giannis got free range. Just come and go as you want to, Giannis.
He was trying to make him Giannis. Darvin Ham was saying, you be Giannis. And it looked pretty good. 11 rebounds in 16 minutes. That means you were cranked.
Yeah.
That means you cared about this game. That means that you came out to make a very early, I know it's what do they play, 4 preseason games?
Yeah, 4.
But it was early to make a statement, an opening statement of, I'm back, baby, and I'm here, and this is going to be a new era and a new dawn for the Lakers.
Right.
So I liked the effort. I liked the energy, because there are nights when I sit back in awe of a top 10-ish player, Anthony Davis. He is a top 10 player when he decides to be.
Exactly.
And I usually sit back, or all too often I sit back and say, where is he?
Right.
Well, what is he doing?
Welcome into the building.
Or as it turns out, my home. Bill Buck here, and I want to welcome you to...
Very brief, right? Were you surprised by LeBron's response?
No. Those two have really never had much of a relationship, and we can't... See, LeBron can't win.
That's what you get, huh?
Everybody says LeBron is too friendly. He tries to be buddy with everybody. Michael Jordan,
buddy.
Trying to be friendly with anyone. LeBron is not friendly. How can he not be friends with Kareem?
Okay, but that's different. They're not competing against each other.
Yeah. Did anybody ask Kareem? Did he have a relationship with Wilt? He's got a whole lot of skills playing.
Are you buying that Russ is going to thrive this season with the Lakers?
No. Letting Russ be Russ has led exactly to what? A bunch of triple doubles. He's won an MVP, but what has it actually won? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers and the Celtics are tied for the most NBA championships, and that's how they evaluate themselves. That's how the Lakers evaluate themselves. If you go look, Skip, they got banners of retired numbers in championships. No Pacific or Western. They ain't got none of that.
No.
Because none of that matters. So I need somebody to tell me Russ being Russ has won what championship, has hung what banner at OKC, Washington, or Houston. Russ needs to show that he can play alongside AD and LeBron. 1, 2, is it AD? The offense is going to run through AD. I'm fine with that. Hopefully, he's on the court long enough so the offense can run through him for at least 70 games. I'll be good with that. Russ needs to accept the fact that LeBron and AD and LeBron are 1-2 options, and then he'll get his accordingly after that. But I need to see it to believe it. Now, they keep telling me, oh, Russ, he gonna love this, he gonna love that. I need to see that. I hope he does. I want the Lakers to be successful, but I just don't see it. We heard this all last year.
We did.
Oh, Russ gonna be Russ, who did yada, 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 and what they get. And we see what the market is. Nobody says, okay, we'll take Russ. Give us Russ. Russ is the missing piece. What team? I mean, if Russ is what everybody says he is, shouldn't he be the missing piece to a team that's trying to win a championship? No, he's not. That's why everybody says, we'll take him off your hands, but not because of that. It's those 2 first-round picks in 27 and 29 that we really want.
That is correct. If Darvin Ham is right about what he said, that Russ will thrive in the Darvin Ham system, I guarantee you Darvin Ham will be the coach of the year. I guarantee it right here, right now, because it ain't even close.
I understand. Mahomes is your guy.
Now back to just...
Go ahead.
Billy, so you're...
Brady?
Everything you just said is... You could be right about that. But I'm going to remind you, Mr. Sharp, you are not the biggest Dak fan to start with. You think he's middle of the pack.
I do. Okay. And for me to say that I don't believe Cooper Rush...
That's fine. But I want it clear in the grand scheme of things, you're not sold on Dak.
I don't think Dak is a top 10 quarterback. I mean, if he was top 10, you thinking Mahomes is out for 3 weeks, you thinking Joe Burrow, if you think Justin Herbert or some of these Lamar Jackson, and Huntley played well. Lamar Jackson come back, he getting that job. Mahomes come back and getting that job. the mere fact that the owner would even throw that out there lets you know what he thinks of his quarterback. What other owner would say that?
I remind you, and I think you noted it early on, the night Dak went down on opening night against Brady and company, he raised the specter of this scenario that night. He said, wouldn't it be something? He said, I'm not predicting this, but wouldn't it be something? If he made me, Cooper Rush, made me make a decision down the road.
Right.
Okay, so do I believe what he said yesterday, that he believes it? I 1,000% believes he would relish, welcome, embrace a quarterback quandary or controversy, because so would I. Because it would only have positive outcomes whichever way you go, because Dak needs a fire lit under him. It's time for him to play up to the $75 million he made last year and the big contract that he got. It's time to earn it. I think he's capable of, but he hasn't been showing me.
Oh, so now all of a sudden you think he's a little of a black quarterback, where
how can I defend his last 12 games? I can't. I told you, down the stretch last year, I dare any cowboy diehard. I'm a lifelong diehard, but I like to think I'm the oxymoronic, objective cowboy fan. I like to think that I am, but there's such a thing. But how do I defend it to you across the table when I look back, starting with your stinking Broncos, came to Jerry World, just when we were riding the highest, and it's 30-0 Denver going to the fourth quarter. What am I supposed to do with that? Listen, in my watching days, I don't think I've been more devastated. And I've been beat down. This is really wrong. Like I thought they were off to the races, like maybe get to the Super Bowl races, and all of a sudden, you can't be a Super Bowl team if you trail 30-0 at home. You can't even write it off as an aberration or a bad day. It's beyond bad. You just got exposed, is what happened. And remember your coach at the time? He's ripping them like.
He didn't put that blueprint. He got a blueprint. He had the JV blueprint on him.
Okay, well, it seems like he did. I got to give him credit wherever he is. I don't even know where did he wind up, but whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, here we went, and then they go to Kansas City, and they get the ball 12 times, and they score 3 field goals. Well, I can't defend it. And then I still haven't recovered from Thanksgiving evening, biggest stage in the sport in the regular season. Where was Dak? They win the toss in overtime. What team at home wins the toss and loses the game?
They went 3 and out.
They went 3 and out. And he's trying to throw it. He throws it behind Noah Brown, and he can't hang on because they seem to have no rapport. He and CD have little to no rapport. What am I supposed to do with that? And then Kyler comes to town. He loves to come home and beat the hell out of the Cowboys, and he did it again. And then you know what happened when San Francisco and Kyle and Mike came to town for a playoff game? Dak stunk. How can I defend that? Opening night against Brady, as opposed to what happened a year ago on opening Thursday night, Dak stunk. I mean, he was beyond stinking. In that game, they scored 3 points. What am I supposed to do with that?
The only team opening weekend did not score a touchdown. But let me ask you, what do you think Dak is thinking when he heard this? You tell me what you think Dak is thinking.
But by the way, just a quick point of order to your point. He called him Prescott, and it came across to me like he's the face of your franchise. He's it, man. You said he can take us to the promised land, and you refer to him publicly as Prescott. It's so cold.
It is.
It's so distant. It's so businesslike. It's so without any affection whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, if I'm out in the public and I'm talking to somebody, I don't say sharp. I know some guys your friend call you sharp, but I don't call you sharp. I call you Shannon.
You do.
Because you're Shannon. You're Shannon.
Right.
You're not even Shannon Sharp.
My teammate John Elway would get so upset when teammates would call him Elway. He's like, call me John.
Call me John. Well, if you have to have some intimacy, like we're in this together, like we're a team, you know, and that got me.
Right.
Well, it indicated there's no sort of love here. No. There's no bond. There's no affection.
But I think a lot of that has to do with Dak. Dak has never allowed the relationship to be close like Jerry likes to get with all of his players. All of his, from Michael Irvin to Dez to a lot of the players, to Tony Romo. Jerry likes to have a personal, close intimate. And Dak has always kept him at arm's length.
He has. Agreed. Okay, so he's now had a small sample size of Cooper Rush, but the samples that we have, the 2 at Minnesota and the 1 last week at home against the defending AFC champions, the team that almost won the Super Bowl, They were pretty good. And so Jerry's saying, yeah, I need more, because he's saying, if we have a quarterback decision to make, that means that he beat the Giants and he beat Washington at home, and then not sure when Dak's going to be ready.
Let's go.
Beat the Rams out here in L.A.
They've been carrying on this conference for the part of 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
Indiana knows you want to get off Russ. We absolutely know that.
Yep.
The Lakers, we know that Indiana wants to trade Miles Turner and Buddy Hield.
Yep.
Indiana says, look, we want those first-round draft picks. Both. B-O-A-L. Both. Now, if you're not giving them love, why do you keep calling my phone, Rob Pelinka? I told you what I wanted.
I agree.
I know you got to get rid of Russ. I know you don't want Russ there. We know Russ doesn't want to be there. But if you're not giving up those first-round picks, now stop calling my phone. You're wasting my minutes. Only got so many minutes per month, and you done used up about half of them. Call it with some bull jive. No. You cannot have Miles Turner. You cannot have Buddy Hield and for Russell Westbrook in a 2027. I need you to kick in that 2029 also. Skip, when Russ and his agent was parting ways, Forshey, what did he say? It's going to take added compensation for you to get Russ off your team.
That is correct.
It's as simple as that. That's what he said.
B7.
Bumper.
They know you want to hold on to it. I know you want to get rid of it. What you going to do, Lakers? Do you want him or not? Do you want Buddy Hield and Miles Turner? Because if you do, you could have him. Now, the thing that the Lakers are saying, well, if they so sought after, why haven't you traded them already? Because they're saying, look, the teams that could potentially want these guys, okay, they offer picks, but we know in 2027 and 2029, LeBron James ain't going to be there. And there's probably a 50-75% chance Anthony Davis is not going to be there.
Yep.
So there's a 100% chance that those picks in 2027 and 2029 could be top 5. So this is what we want. Now, if you want the guys, give them Russ and those 2 first-round picks. And you can have Buddy Hield and you can have Miles Turner. If you don't, will you please stop wasting my time? Because every time my secretary calls me and she says, Rob,
it's interception.
I tell him I'm not in. Tell him I'm not in. He said he's not in. That happened at one time, Skip. My grandfather, my aunt answered the phone, and my grandfather didn't want to talk. And he told my aunt to tell the person, tell him I'm not here. She gets back on the phone. He says he's not here. That's what the secretary told Rob Pelinka. The GM said he don't want to talk to you until you got 2 first-round picks for him, but he's not in. So that's what we are, Skip. And my thing is, should you already have this already settled? You keep signing guards, and you still got Russ on your team.
You do.
I would have thought, so you know what? We ain't got Russ on the team right now, and so we need to add another playmaking guard. Let's do it. You keep adding these potentially playmaking guards, and you still get the guy on your team.
Your point. It feels like this is almost nightly torture on Twitter for Laker Nation, because these reports just keep rearing their ugly heads and everybody goes berserk about, oh my God.
That's my ball. Let me get that.
And Miles Turner. And we could have them. And I'm not even sure you could have them. I don't even know what is going on in these conversations. But it's also possible other players are being discussed. I can't even begin to speculate, but Kendrick Nunn or Toscano Anderson or all these.
Good catch.
Thomas Bryant, Lonnie Walker, and Troy Brown. You got all these new players you've acquired who are still movable. You could.
Right.
Are you trying to do a package for one, for just Buddy Hield or for just Miles Turner? I don't know.
The most important thing to them are those first-round picks.
Yep.
That's what they want more than anything. I'm not so sure now. We don't know, but are they going to buy Russ out? Because
Indiana.
Yes.
Well, obviously he has made it very clear. I will take no 75 cents on the dollar buyout.
Take a John Wall. John Wall he's supposed to make.
My dude didn't even try to pick the ball up. That's some bullshit right there.
2 years, $13 million, recoup the money. So basically, he got the money back. The question is, does Russ feel confident in his game enough? He says, okay, y'all want to buy me out? Okay, I'll take 90 cents on the dollar, and then go somewhere and says, okay, I'll latch on for $6.5, $7 million to recoup the money. Does he believe in himself that much?
Okay, I got it. I'm going to say it again. What this boils down to is Jeannie Buss's resentment over the fact that she gave in to LeBron and Anthony, who pushed hard for her to go, or them to go get Russell Westbrook. In lieu of going to get Buddy Hield, and a deal seemed to be, by widely reported sources, a deal seemed to be in place for Buddy Hield from Sacramento to the Lakers last year. Buddy Hield is a nice fit for LeBron because he's 40% for his career. He's 40%. He's a dead-eye to me. And to me, in the time I've watched him, because I watched him closely at Oklahoma, but he's pretty clutch. I mean, he'll make some big threes. He made some big ones on the Lakers last year. Remember the double overtime game? Triple overtime. And LeBron missed a couple of walk-offs in one game. But Buddy Hield made a bunch of big shots in that game.
Hopefully the fucking game don't glitch again. Look at it. Starting to glitch all of a sudden at the end.
Okay, he should fit right in, but where he doesn't fit in a good way, is he can actually shoot it. Whereas Russ can't shoot it.
The game ain't glitch all game. All of a sudden, the last two kickoffs it glitch.
That would have been a better. Obviously, it's 20/20 hindsight, but even you, to your credit, you were just pounding your side of the table saying, just do Buddy Hield and be done with it. Because you thought Russ just wouldn't fit with LeBron, and not only would he not fit, but he got exposed as he wouldn't try to, but he's a liability in 20 different ways.
Let's get that, man.
Anything like the way he got exposed on the grand stage that is Staples / the Crypt. And it was his dream come true, nightmare come true for Russ, who grew up a big Laker fan out here in Southern California. Okay, so the point is, Jeannie is still, to me, resentful that she gave in to her superstars and said, okay, I gave you what you guys wanted, and it blew up in all our faces. And now I'm stuck with a second year, because it wasn't a 1 year commitment, it was a 2 year commitment at $47 million for next year. As I told you, he got Kyrie.
They got Kyrie
in our previous topic in this very today's show, I think you acknowledged it was all about Kyrie's bull jive, and Kevin Durant had had enough by the time the playoffs came around. And Boston was at that time the best defensive team in the league, and they put the clamps. They sent 3 men after him, and his heart was not in it.
That was JT, and JT's tired of. If Kevin Durant gets passes, he's received more passes than Tom Brady's thrown in 23 years. Because all the media do is keep giving this guy a pass. Lack of leadership and coming up small. I want you to tell me.
I think the media despises Kevin Durant because he continues to bite the hand that feeds him the MVP.
I want you to tell me, outside of the Golden State Warriors, what has Kevin Durant done to validate a third rank?
Okay, well, he lost Kyrie, and he had half of James Harden, and he almost beat Giannis with Drew Holiday and with Middleton, who took over the game in the overtime and made the shot of shots that won the game. Not Giannis. Chris Middleton
Nikola Jokic was playing without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. And he somehow, and he won MVP, and somehow he ranked behind Kevin Durant. I'm just trying to know, my argument is, how the hell Kevin Durant get to be third, and he didn't, he got swept?
Shannon Sharp, you should be relieved and pleased that your man LeBron is as high as 7 on this list, because he doesn't belong above.
He should be top 5.
This guy named Kawhi is going to be back, and he's ranked 8th, and he should be at least 7th.
When the last time you saw Kawhi?
Well,
hammer was a hatchet. You know how long you got to hammer a hatchet to put?
I saw him carrying the Clippers toward the finals. That's what he would have if he'd stayed healthy. If Joe Ingles hadn't sort of bumped him.
Oh, now you blaming Joe Ingles. Now you saying Joe Ingles did it on purpose.
Off the, just lost his balance.
Okay, what if AD had stayed healthy? What if LeBron had stayed healthy?
Well, Kawhi is back, and he should be 7th on this list, and LeBron should be 8th, because the last time I saw the great leader that LeBron is, he led the Lakers, or the Fakers, last year and to 33-49, and they missed the play-in tournament. Let's
go. I gotta post this on my Twitch.
How do you do
The man
that?
played 55 games.
Welcome into the booth.
As out my home. Joe Buck here, and I
I want to welcome you to our brand new Prop Sports website. Every day, you'll see the top stories in sports.